What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into a live show about the NBA, which is only our second in like 3 months. But this is our week one recap of the NBA season. My name is Jake Denver, and I am here with my lovely co host, Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
If you can't see, you can see that luxurious whiteboard behind Dave. We may be using that for a segment later in the show. We'll get to that. But before we do get that, let me get the housekeeping out of the way. Down below in the description, if you can check out our Patreon and our channel membership, we will be posting content on there all season long. Majority draft content on there. That'll be going up a week earlier than it will be here on YouTube, so you can go down below and support us there. Also, our Discord is down below. You can join the greatest community in the world. It's a pretty good Discord chat going on when the Bulls games aren't going on, because when the Bulls games are going on, you kind of just hit mute. And
What do you mean, Jake? There's plenty of discussion at all times, all rational, all reasonable.
If you're not a Bulls fan, if you are a Bulls fan, first off, join it because it's going to be like your heaven. If you're not a Bulls fan, just for like 3 hours every couple days, you just kind of put it off to the side. And then besides that, it's a very it's open-ended conversation throughout the day, which sometimes leads to some people getting heated. It's just different time to time.
Smidge.
Just a time to time. And also down below, hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell if you want to get notified every single time we go live, because we will be doing unexpected live streams throughout the year. And every time a video goes live, all of our division previews are also down below. 6 videos where Dave and I went through every NBA team and talked about them in the previews. And yes, apparently we're already underrating the Knicks. And who am I forgetting? Who was on the Knicks? Oh, Obi Toppin.
Obi Toppin and Fournier. Google his name.
Yeah. But that'll do it for the housekeeping. Let's get into our NBA discussion. We're going to start out with kind of a overriding vast conversation about the play so far. I do want to start. The one place I think we have to start is the new NBA rules that have been instituted. Obviously, I think they've labeled it as unnatural offensive motion.
The James Harden rule.
It's the James Harden rule.
It is.
It is the James Harden rule, but he's been poster boyed when he's not near the only one who was doing it and using it. Joel Embiid's free throws are also vastly down this year. Trey Young also vastly down this year, and they were all abusing it. And you see random players like Furkan Korkmaz in the game last night was thinking in the middle of it, he was like, "Shit, I can't do this anymore," and he threw a pass off. So it's gonna take some time. What are your overall thoughts on like the first week, the quality of basketball we've seen, and kind of how the rules have impacted the game so far?
Okay. In regards to the James Harden rule, I think that it's a good step for the NBA. I think that we all, as fans, appreciate the fact that the game is more streamlined, and it feels like it's foul bait is bad for the game. Like, I want to see the better, more talented team win, and it feels like foul bait gets people out of so many situations that, you know, they put themselves into. It's not. It is, yes, a loophole, but at the same time, it's like, is that a good thing? And I think that it just turns into better basketball overall. I do think it's weird to see how far off the free throw attempts per game has dropped off this year to start the season. I think it's unsustainable. I think that the refs will get back to a sense of normalcy, because right now they are just letting the boys play. And for better or worse, not sure that's the right answer. James Harden notably had his coach speak out on his behalf. The lack of foul calls for him, because Harden rightfully isn't getting calls for when he's trying to foul bait, but now he's not even getting calls for when there is contact in the paint. And he's going for layups or anything around there. So like, there is seemingly a sense of refs saying, no, fuck you at this point.
Yeah, I think, first of all, in terms of the quality of basketball and kind of the speed of the game, I think it's helped a lot. We're not seeing like the
last night there was a half an hour for 7 seconds, I think.
Yeah, that was a tad bit ridiculous. And if John Morant was clutch, they would have went to overtime, but he just couldn't make
it. He hit every other free throw. The dude's like an 80% free throw shooter. He made that many.
He's just the best player in the NBA so far. So
MVP.
Basically. But yeah, I think in terms of the quality of play, it's very much helped. The only thing I hate, and the rule that I hate that they instituted, is that under 2 minutes, they aren't automatically reviewing out of bounds plays that are questionable, and it has to be a coach's challenge. I get the speed of play that you want, and you want to speed up the game, and these reviews are taking time, but I feel like it's necessary at some points when it's clearly that you can see in the Sixers game against Brooklyn on Friday night, there was a clear ball that went out of bounds on the Nets, and they gave it back to the Nets. They didn't score, so it didn't end up really mattering, but it takes time off the clock. And of course, Doc's not going to challenge it because Doc Rivers is a terrible basketball coach. But it shouldn't have to be something that's challenged. It should be, we can go and look at it. And second of all, there's been a lot of talk about this in a lot of sports. It's having a sky ref basically, and having a ref that's automatically reviewing it. And
Yeah.
it could have taken 2 seconds, and they could have seen the first replay. Yeah, that went off the nets pretty clearly. We can just change the call real quick. Even if you don't want to do an automatic review on the floor every single time, I get that. But when
Yeah.
it's such a blatant call that a coach shouldn't even have to challenge it to
Yeah.
get it fixed, it's a tad bit annoying. Even I get it, it speeds up the game, but it's frustrating to see they're just allowing themselves to get calls wrong.
I think that we will see in the next couple years more of a push to have the like offsite reffing done for those kind of calls.
Yeah.
Where we're gonna see like I know there's already like a head ref who sits it. I forget what location it is, but basically like he's
New York.
kind of like the like yeah. I'm also seeing that. I know the NFL does that. I think the NBA will do the same thing very soon, so that way they can have those calls be quicker and like, hey, I'm gonna jump into the game for New York and be like, hey, it's out on this team. Here's the replay, whatever. And done. It's like a matter of seconds, like you said. I think it will speed up. I think this is just a learning curve for them to kind of embrace technology the right way. And again, like not being a default thing is annoying. Like, God, that Russ play at the end of the game where LeBron's like, it's over. He keeps doing this motion. He's like, it's over. And it was an invertent whistle. And it was like they had to have the Lakers inbound the ball for 0.2 of a second. So he's just like, here, take it. Like, don't even care.
It's just meaningless stuff like that. It's just like I think overall the rules. I think we both agree. The rule changes are good.
Yes.
It seems like there's obviously going to have to be some tweaking here in the next couple of years because there's some and I think like you said towards the middle of the year we'll see the free throw numbers go up a little bit. I don't think they'll reach last year's numbers or the year before's numbers. But like Harden's just simply getting absolutely no calls. Like he got battered 2 or 3 times in the paint in that Hornets game, and he just kind of looked around. Like it also comes down to him. Since that's happening, he's being a little bit hesitant towards his offensive game. So it's going to take him some time. He is the 3rd greatest shooting guard of all time, so he will figure it out. It's just going to take some time. Just a little.
You're just throwing that out there. Again, check out our Discord for rational conversations.
Correct, because James Harden is the 3rd greatest shooting guard of all time. He's better than Dwayne Wade, and I can't hear any argument against it. So we'll move into actual team performances now. So we're going to start off. We'll talk about with overachievers or underachievers.
Let's go over. Let's be positive.
Okay, let's go over the remaining undefeated teams in the NBA. There are 7. The Nuggets, the Timberwolves, and the Jazz are all 2-0 so far in the West, and the Warriors are 3-0. In the East, the Wizards and Hornets are 2-0, and the Chicago Bulls are 3-0. They've played the Pistons twice and the Pelicans once, so not very shocking.
We beat the trash.
Yeah, you're bum beaten. That's what you should be doing. I think the team that we talked about, though, the team we talked about in the preseason a lot, is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yes. Minnesota Timberwolves are 2-0, and they look damn good. D'Lo, Cat, and Ant are gelling very well, especially in the first game. They were all 20+. This is what the team was built to look like. Now, is it sustainable throughout the entire year? And I will say, I really do like what Finch is doing with this team, too. Ant uses more of an offensive initiator instead of just how he was Saunders kind of just stuck him on the wing and just kind of like getting the ball. Ant's showing his creativeness on top of the key, his ability to get his own shot consistently.
That kid goes at it, though. Like that's the thing. Like the passion he has attacking downhill, you can't teach that. And it's funny because this is the guy who pre-draft process was joking around about being like, I'm not even like a basketball player. Like I could be a football player. I could be a baseball player. Like my passion isn't really bad. And it was just like, everybody's like, is this man insane? And then he's just out here like absolutely throwing down. And again, like you love to see the passion because even when D'Lo's shot isn't falling, they're not dependent on him being the guy on that team. They're able to move those ball handling responsibilities over to Ant. They're able to hand the ball off to other guys, and they are playing really, really good basketball right now. The role players are stepping up. Okogie, limited minutes, intense defense. It's exactly what you want out of him. McDaniels, same thing. That man is a fucking legend. I love him already.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's made some plays so far this year that have been stunning. The Nuggets are another team I want to talk about because obviously no Jamal Murray. They looked like Jokic is averaging, I think I saw 28, 14, and 4 or something like that.
Yeah, the assist numbers are strangely low. Jokic getting selfish now?
Can I say something that like...
No, go ahead.
Embiid and him switched because now Embiid is throwing assists instead of attacking the basket, and now Jokic is just attacking the basket instead of giving the ball up. I think it's a good thing out of Jokic. I think it'll even out towards the end of the year. He'll probably still average 7-8 assists a game because he's just the best passing big of all time. So it's like,
I think he felt it was necessary for him to take a larger scoring role. until he knows what he can consistently get out of AG and Michael Porter. Like the rest of the role players on that team are solid players, but at the same time, it's like nobody's Jamal Murray. Let's be honest here. So I might have to take a more aggressive step as far as things are concerned in the scoring department. So I'm surprised by the rotation so far. I think that they are. I don't know. I think they're a very good team, but again, it will be like, let's see how long this holds up without Murray there, because I think at some point they're going to hit a wall.
I think I agree, and that's why I think I had them at this 3 seed. I'm not sure where you had them, but
I think 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think when Jamal Murray comes back there, if everybody else stays healthy, Michael Porter Jr. is the big thing with them. If he stays healthy, they're a finals contending team with Jamal Murray back, and their bench has been electric. Monte Morris has been great, but then the real team in the West to talk about is the Golden State Warriors, and they've beaten the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Kings. Now, let me just take you a rundown here. So their team leading stats: blocks, Kevon Looney leads with 1 a game. Steals, Steph Curry leads with 2.3 a game. Assists, Steph Curry leads with 7. Points, Steph Curry leads with 31. And rebounds, Steph 9 a game. So Curry is just, slightly averaging 31, 9, and 7 with 2 steals a game. What? Is there... I mean, I know we talked about Ja. I think Steph has been... It's those two, 1A and 1B so far with their teams and how they're performing. But Steph's team being 3-0, if you really want to talk about a 3-game MVP... it would be Steph, because just like we were watching him last night, and it just seems like and we've seen this at times in his career, most times we have, but we've seen it times it go away. He's just getting whatever he wants, whenever he wants, against whoever he wants. Like even Davion Mitchell, who we'll probably talk about later in our rookie segment, who's Mr. Off night. Curry was just getting what he wanted. Like, it didn't matter. Curry was attacking the basket. He was taking his threes. Like, it genuinely didn't matter what he wanted. Steph was going to get his basket.
Yeah, I mean, Davion makes people uncomfortable. He fights through screens. He does all the right things. He is already a premier top-tier defender in the NBA. But Steph Curry is one of the greatest scorers of all time, the greatest shooter of all time. And he will find his spots. And him and Dre will find a pick and roll that will be happy. That's just... it is what it is. So I think that the Warriors are getting it done the right way right now. It'll be very interesting to see. Right now, they have not depended almost at all on Moody. Like for a top pick, I mean, I know he was like Endolato, but like for a top pick, he was not involved. Kuminga's coming back now, supposedly. I think he's eligible to play, but I think they're going to have him come in a game or two probably.
Bucket's going to come in.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. I was trying to not mention that nickname of his that you...
What, the Cum Bucket? It's the greatest nickname of NBA history. I do have to mention Gary Payton.
GP.
Second. Yeah. I mean, my guy. I love Gary Payton second.
He hit an all-timer last night.
Yeah, he hit some threes, which I didn't think was possible in his NBA career. But, it's just like the Warriors are that organization.
Otto Porter healthy.
Wilt Chamberlain's
grandson. That's a nice change. He's playing really well for them. Like, it just feels like they have an answer for everything, and they can go wing heavy. They can go, with a couple of bigs. So my big thing for them is just make sure they're going to get the young kids involved in the rotation, because it feels like Moody is very much an afterthought. And I wonder if that, again, it's the start of the season, so you got to see,
Tinfoil. I still think they were picking for another team. I don't know what team that was or whatever it was. If it was a Ben trade, I don't know. But like a Moody and Kuminga and Wiggins for somebody seemed like that was going to happen. And I feel like they didn't make those picks themselves. I feel like they were making it for somebody else. Because I feel like if they were making those picks for somebody else, they would have went with other players. I don't think they would have. The Cum Bucket one just doesn't make sense.
Potentially. But again, this is the team that took James Wiseman over LaMelo Ball. So they Jerry West ain't there anymore. We'll see what they come out with. But right now, they've got a top-tier team. And rookie development's not on their priority list. They're out to win a championship. Klay Thompson coming back in the near future will be great. In the meantime, it looks like Jordan Poole is an excellent, step-up player. So I think everything's going right for them.
Yeah, as Lyric says, he thinks the Nuggets are a sleeper team in the West. I'm like, I as somebody who had them going to the NBA Finals in their prediction, I would have to agree. I don't think, obviously John Morant's been spectacular. The big thing is the other thing I wanted to touch in
Jaren Jackson Jr. is a bust. Yeah, I know.
Fucking no, ridiculous.
He ain't getting paid.
No. I want to talk on how bad the Dallas Mavericks offense looks and how bad of a coach Jason Kidd is. I watched both their games, and I don't know what they're trying to do on offense. I find myself more like you go through the team. They're averaging 95 points a game.
Yeah.
There's no other team in the West that's not winless that's under 105, I think is the stat. So
Their shot quality after
it's
their
bad.
first game was, I think, the 8th worst they had like all of last year. They only had like 8 or 7 games worse than it, like based off shot quality, which is insane. It's so telling about the type of coach and expectations that Rick Carlisle set versus what is now happening under Jason Kidd. And I think that obviously KP, you hope that he takes the next step and is that second star next to Luka, but realistically we haven't seen it. It just seems like Jason Kidd's direction is directionless at this point. I'm not seeing a positive impact on the floor.
It seems like we knew he was a bad coach, so he wasn't a head coach. But then a team thought, let's make him a head coach again, even though we know he's not a good head coach.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the Luke Walton. It's like Luke Walton getting the job in Sacramento.
Oh, is he still employed?
Because it's the Kings. Because it's the Kings. That's about it. We'll move on to the East. Bulls go. I don't know. You're gonna.
We're the best.
They played the Pistons twice and the Pelicans. Tonight will be interesting. They still should rout the Raptors in my mind. Especially with Vucevic playing now. It's gonna be interesting to see a team like the Raptors who get a lot of rim pressure consistently play against.
Yeah, because they can't shoot from the outside.
Agree. Oh yeah.
It's Fred VanVleet and then
OG respectively.
OG who has come back. He had a horrible start, but yeah.
Respect OG.
I do. I stand OG since day 0, bitch. Get the fuck off my back.
The Bulls are going to be. Oh, John, how you doing? I see you in the chat, J-Dub. The Bulls are going to be interesting because they have an extreme stretch coming up in the next.
We will be tested, and other teams will be too. It's that meme. It's like call an ambulance, but not for me.
Not for me.
That's that meme. Right now. That's what Bulls fans are all in right now. So
you're so old. You said that meme. That's like
we have every reason to. It is. Fuck you. We have every reason to be happy. Our team's doing great. Our 6th man isn't even fucking healthy yet. We don't have Kobe White for 3 more weeks. But we're still playing very well. All our new pieces seem to be working well together. We haven't seen all of them click at the same time, which is wild. But we have been literally playing the literal bottom of the NBA. So all disrespect to the Pistons playing without Cade Cunningham. They're the worst team in the NBA by far. And the Cavs for playing 5 centers. I mean, that's just on you, y'all. That ain't our fault.
Okay, I will say about the Cavs is that Larry Markkinen might not be putting up great box scores, but he looks more comfortable playing there. I've actually watched a lot of the Cavs.
Looks happy.
Games. Looks good. I'm happy for him. He looks like he's more. I think if you move Allen away from that team in the future and you play a Mobley Lowry, I think that works way better. If you had another wing who can actually not space the floor, but can at least put the ball on the floor. Because I think Lowry's doing that a bit too much. I don't know. Ricky
bad players look comfortable on bad teams. Just gonna say.
Well said, Ricky. Bad players look comfortable on bad teams. Player.
He looks comfortable on a bad team.
Almost just made a joke, but I'm not going to.
But the biggest thing for them, outside of Mobley being awesome, truly awesome, is Ricky Rubio. I mean, this man is the offseason pickup century.
They're gonna be able to flip him for so much.
He's awesome for them. He's the best point guard they've got, and it ain't even close. He unlocks their whole team. It's fun watching him play with them.
Well, they haven't had Garland, and they really haven't missed him, to be honest. I know they will in the future, but Rubio's played that well in the first couple games. They're 1-2, but they're averaging 111 a game. It's their defense, which we knew what their problem was going to be was their perimeter defense when you're playing old Rubio and Sexton and Okoro doesn't even start, so you're playing Lowry. They don't match up with teams well. Yeah, they're playing too many centers. They're playing too many big men because Lowry's not a center, but just too many big men.
He's 7 feet tall. You tell me what he is.
Oh, Anthony Davis is 7 feet tall, and he's not a center apparently.
No, he's a coward.
Oh my gosh. The other team we got to talk about is the Eastern Conference Player of the Week on the Charlotte Hornets, Miles Bridges. We talked about. I actually told you before the season started that we were talking about players who could outplay their team in terms of salary, restricted free agency.
Yes.
More people were talking about Colin Sexton, and I remember telling you, I was like, Miles Bridges is that guy where if he balls out, some team is going to offer him $25, $28 million a year because he's just He's uber athletic. He's improving defensively. He's not as bad as he used to be. And his shot is becoming more consistent. And he's being more aggressive downhill, which is what everybody wanted to see with him because the talent's there. He just needed to consistently have the belief in himself to be able to drive and finish at the rim consistently. And that's exactly what he's doing. And this Hornets team is 3-0. They've beaten the Brooklyn Nets. LaMelo absolutely flamethrower in the first 2 games. And in the third game against the Nets, he didn't even have to come in because Ish Smith was just the GOAT.
And tells his coach, let Ish cook.
Yeah, let Ish cook. Like, he's like, I'll stay over here and talk to Jay-Z, and you just let Ish Smith cook on the court. I mean, this team, if Gordon Hayward can stay healthy and Ish Smith can stay healthy, the sky's the limit for this team.
Yeah, that's a shocker. You mentioned Gordon Hayward healthy. He's their closer, and he is so important to this team. And that's what makes it more impressive that Miles Bridges is having these performances because previously Hayward on the court meant Bridges was an afterthought, and we didn't see that massive production until Hayward got hurt last year. Post-Hayward injuries when we had the breakout season for Bridges. So we were all like, well, is it going to go away? Is it real? Is it not? And now we're seeing him thrive, and it's PJ Washington who's taken the backseat. So it'll be very interesting to see how the season continues to unroll. But right now, that is one of the most fun and dangerous teams in the NBA. Like, they are the must-watch for NBA League Pass. But they're also like a top team in the NBA who have legitimate cred.
Yeah, like I think last year I spoke. I don't know if you did or not, but I remember talking about how much I love Borrego as a coach. I think that he has not elite. To see a young team turn it kind of this quick, like the knob just turned very quick. Now, no finals expectation or anything like that, but they're a team that could get into the playoffs and give a team a lot of trouble in the first round if they're healthy.
Hey,
it's
Jake, technical update is for some reason my Discord just froze.
Oh,
and
nice.
It was Borrego's a great coach, and both you just froze. And then you just came back in. So I'm just letting you know. Because I was like, wait, is it Jake?
You froze in a really great face.
And then it's just like nothing, and then you came back. So I'm just letting you know. Borrego's a great coach. That's what Borrego's a great coach.
He slightly tweaked the offense this year. You're getting better, consistent center play from them. And it's just the team is a lot deeper. Kelly Oubre, I mean, he's going to brick a lot of shots because that's what he does. But even him, I didn't even mention Cody Martin, the good Martin, he made some fantastic defensive plays down the stretch against the Nets. Like, this team is just so much fun.
And Scary Terry not even there right now.
Yeah, I agree.
We mentioned the fact that he
played one game. He played one game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but he's out too. So
he's out tonight again.
And it's just like this team is going to continue to get better, and it's awesome to see. So I'm hyped about them. I will continue to be hyped about them. LaMelo Ball, potentially most improved player / all-star / MVP if he keeps it up.
There is an all-star spot opening up because Ben's not going to play most likely enough games. So is LaMelo going to be that guy to take that spot this year? Maybe.
Yes,
maybe.
Sir.
Last team I really want to touch on in the East is the New York Knicks. I think it's a lot of the same. I think we saw last night against the Magic, Julius Randle. Yeah, I know he finished with like 32 and 14 or something like that, but he consistently couldn't get it going offensively in big moments, and they were missing open shots. And when Randle couldn't get his shot consistently, the offense just kind of seemed like it dissipated. Like it seemed like it was a lot of force. It was very forced. Mitchell Robinson did come back into the game, but again had another scary kind of ankle tweak a little bit. Like, it's just a lot of questions, and I know that Knicks fans are like, well, we got better clearly, but Kemba is not playing a lot of minutes. He's playing like 25 a game, which is good for Kemba because he's literally has a deteriorating knee. But Derrick Rose again takes the starter minutes down the stretch, and Kemba sits on the bench. I'm just interested to see, like, as this team progresses, is Evan Fournier going to be able to take a more consistent role offensively? Is Derrick Rose?
He had a hell of a welcoming party, though.
Yeah, he did. But big question is, RJ Barrett, we're waiting again. It's the same thing. It's 3 games in. It's very early, I know. But this is the year where RJ, the third year, is you needed to take the step. We're seeing John Morant take the step. Zion, we're seeing eating a lot of food and getting fat on the sideline. RJ, what are we doing is basically the question there. Like, he is the guy who has to take the step if this team wants to take the leap into like second round finals contention.
Yeah, on the upside, Rose has played really well. I think that he's a much more willing passer this year, as we've seen. He's definitely got that another year of comfortability with his teammates. I think they have the offense down scheme-wise for him, so he feels extremely confident with the ball in his hands, making passes, making plays for teammates, which is really good. And again, watching him close out a game was great. But I think that, at the end of the day, it's going to be interesting and entirely all on probably... I mean, Obi's got some progression this year. We're already happy to see that. Because last year he just looked like straight ass.
I was going to say, some progression for nothing as a bench player. So.
Yeah, but... It is a lot on RJ. We probably won't expect to see too many minutes for the rookies this year, even though we really like their draft class.
Their G League team better be insane. I'm just saying their G League team better, because Miles McBride sitting on the bench is a disgrace. Sorry.
Grimes sitting
on the bench. Disgrace. Roku Sokubaitis playing in Barcelona over there. Disgrace.
At least he's getting minutes.
At least he's playing basketball,
Yeah.
Is there any team that you want to touch on that we didn't touch on in either conference before we move on to our rookie segment?
No, not really. I mean, we talked about John Morant. That counts for the Memphis Grizzlies. So
talking about John Morant, talking about Jaren Jackson Jr. making the same mistakes down the stretch because he's not worth a max contract. That's the conversation?
That's pretty much where we're at. Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, also, Brandon Ingram is very good at basketball, and the Pelicans suck besides him.
Who knew? Who knew that BI was good at basketball? I don't know.
I am interested.
I probably talked about that.
The Suns, so far this year, at 1-2. It's a feeling, even like, I know, like, they lost some close games. Is it any type of panic with them? And do you think, here's a good question, do you think Cam Johnson starts by the end of the year over Jay Crowder? I
think that Jay Crowder is going to keep starting for a while. His run during the playoffs, he was an incredibly hot shooter. He's a streaky shooter, though. Like, so yes, he will probably lose his starting role for a bit. His defense is so good, though, and I think his defense will outweigh Cam's shooting and come playoff time again. But regular season, I would guess that he's probably going to lose his starting role for a bit. But there's no panic. This is a team that knows our expectations. The whole Sarver situation will be sorted soon. Yeah, probably. So I think that'll help once that's gone. Ayton's contract thing, who the fuck knows?
Ayton's developed a step back mid range pull up, which I didn't. Are we back? We're back.
The problem being, it's doing that thing where I go to red.
Yeah.
Remember, I have to like drop the call and come back in.
Yeah. Love Discord. Continue. Discord's so good. Blazers.
Nasty. Yeah. So good. I told you. Anthony Simons, very good. I told you. CJ McCollum, you wish you traded for him already.
No, I don't. I don't at all, actually. No, I don't, because Seth Curry's better. So, just simple. Seth Curry best.
Could you imagine CJ McCollum, Seth Curry backcourt dominating?
We might let up 125 points a game.
You would score 130.
Probably. No, because Doc wouldn't play him the whole time because he'd play the full bench unit.
I say, what's Doc's rotation? Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, he'd stint CJ with. I can't even. Yep. What we're going to do is we're going to get into our final segment. That was our overall rushing talk. The big thing we want to talk about today is every week we are going to be tracking our top 7 rookies throughout the season. So Dave and I will each go from 7 to 1. We'll go one by one and we'll talk about each of our lists. So we're going to be ranking week to week our rookies. Dave, do you want to start at 7 and with your first rookie?
Sure. Number 7. Controversial.
It's so hard because I don't know.
No, that's the problem is there's so many I like, and we're going off of literally a handful of minutes. Remember, the most minutes possible for 3 games? I can't do fucking math, but you get it. There's not that many. There's only 48 minutes a game. Nobody's playing 48 minutes a game. One's playing a lot. Chris Duarte is playing 39, but you won't see him until a little bit higher on this list.
Way higher on this list. Where are you going, Dave, on 7?
Number 7. My boy LP. Alperen Şengün on what is one of the worst teams in the NBA. He is a phenomenal talent, and he needs to be playing 30 minutes a night. He's incredibly smart. He has such a high basketball IQ on the court. He makes the entire team better when he's out there. And I think it's incredibly disrespectful that Daniel Theis is getting minutes over him. I have no idea why. I can't fucking rationalize it. But LP is a fucking real G, and he deserves all the minutes in the world for it. He's so good. He's so fucking good.
I agree. Usman Garuba also deserves minutes, and he's getting like 7 minutes a game, which is atrocious on my end. Because Daniel, for some reason, they felt the need to bring in Daniel Theis when they're going to draft Şengün and Usman Garuba. Which, if you're going to play Garuba like this, why didn't you just have him stay overseas for this year? Like, he would dominate again at Madrid. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. The first rookie, this is so hard. First rookie I'm going to go with is Off Night. I'm going to go Davion Mitchell at 7. Defensively, he's been as good as promised. Everybody knew this defense was good. The first 2 games of his career, he shot 14% from the field. He had a very good game last night, obviously, against the he's back up to 36% shooting, but defensively, there's a reason they're calling him Davion Off Night Mitchell, is because he is, I mean, as most of us thought he would be, defensively, he's great. Now, can his offensive game become more consistent? If it does, he will rise up this list throughout the entire year. It just leaves a little bit to desired when we saw what we did last night, but we saw what we did the first 2 nights as well. So defensively, elite, all NBA already. Offensively, we'll see where he figures it out.
I agree. The hustle is there, and the shooting numbers. There's just a straight shooting difference from him on ball defensively versus anyone else in their team. It's real. It's incredible how much he's taken on the challenge and the role as like the stopper on that team from day one. They just have a really fun young team.
All right, 6 on your board, Dave. Who we going? Or do you want to swap who goes first? I don't know if you want to.
Well, will you snake draft it?
You want to snake draft it?
Yeah, let's snake draft it. Yeah.
Oh God, I don't know who I want at 6. These guys are top 3. He's 4. He's 5. It's the 6. It's between 2 people, and and one of them's not even going to make the list if he doesn't make it here. So
right,
they're teammates.
That's a problem.
I'm going to go with the guy who has the ball in his hands more. I'm going to go Jalen Suggs at 6. So Jalen Suggs,
really?
I like Jalen Suggs. Yeah. So he's had very up and down so far. I was signed between him and Franz. So it was one of those 2. I left Şengün off my list, I know, because he didn't play enough minutes. He'll get back on there when he keeps playing more. It's just Suggs has been very good. The Magic haven't been very good, and Cole Anthony's seen a large duty of the ball handling role this year. What?
Duty.
What do you mean?
You said duty.
Oh,
I'm a child.
Oh my God. But yeah, for what we've seen, Suggs shooting the ball hasn't been good as percentages, but kind of it's just more of an eye test thing than a statistical thing with him. I've seen him look comfortable in the offense so far. He needs to shoot the ball way more efficiently than he is now. I think he's shooting it like 25% right now, so it's terrible. But defensively, he's been very good. Offensively, distribution-wise, his assist numbers should be higher, but his teammates are missing open
Not
shots.
missing, yeah, I'd say his shooting split is 25, 13, 92.
Wow. Yeah. So again, eye testing here, not statistical thing. Davion is the same thing, honestly, because his offensive game is he's not shooting as bad as Suggs, but he was until last night. He had the game of the year last night
for himself, I'm sure. If he tops that one, I mean, congrats to him, but that was a all-time performance already. For your 3rd game in the NBA, that's a giant
hell of a game.
I'm here.
But I'm keeping Suggs on here because he was high on my board, and I still feel like watching him, he looks comfortable. The numbers are just going to slowly come throughout the year.
Every reason to believe in him. I agree. But I'm taking the other route. I am going Franz Wagner.
Okay, there we go. We're fine then. We can talk about both.
We are covered completely here.
Love it.
I'll
talk while you have your back. I'll talk while you have your Franz Wagner, again, playing more of an off-ball role, but he has shown the ability so far this year to put the ball on the floor and be able to penetrate. Dave, and get to the rim when he wants to. And then his shooting stroke is just, it's so pure, and we knew it was so pure. Defensively was a little bit of a question. He's looked pretty okay so far.
He looked really good, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's a smart off-ball defender. And on-ball, I think it'll just take time and mass. Like, once he adds some muscle to him, he can defend multiple positions easily in the NBA. It's super easy to see, like, the outline for what he can become for this team. And I think that so many people want to shit on him for his summer league performance. It's like, this is not where this man thrives. Like, I don't know if you've watched his game, but like when you have organized, controlled basketball instead of ISO ball 24/7, like it's a different game, you know. He definitely benefits from being a key role player, and I think that he's got incredibly high upside as a talented wing. Agreed. So that's why I had to go with Franz Wagner here.
Top 5, Dave. Who's at 5? I think the top 5 is set. Now it just depends what order you want to go in with them. So far.
Okay, that's fair. And
all of these are my guys, except I'm just living life so far.
Yeah, no, I mean I have no problem with this one. My number 5, locking in, and again, why we're doing this is stats are part of it, but they are not all of it. So that's why I'm just before you get upset about some things going down here. Yeah, it is. It is going to be Josh Giddey.
It's too low for him, but I respect it. Giddey had his best game of his career last night against the Sixers. I believe it was 18, 9, and 8 in the box score. He looked phenomenal. There was some controversy with a Sixers announcer saying he doesn't care about Josh Giddey, but I think people are too bored and too soft and just need to worry about other things. I know Dave somewhat agree with me off stream. I don't know if he'll agree with me on stream, but you will?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, it's literally a nothing.
It's phrasing. It was just phrasing, and that's all that people want to get upset about shit. So they're upset about shit. Like,
agreed.
I truly believe that Giddey looks pretty good. The shooting numbers are pretty low, which is fine for now. I'm not really surprised by it because this is a OKC team that's really just trying to give everyone opportunities early on. I think they're going to kind of filter through and sift and find who the guys they're going to really emphasize getting more minutes and more attempts. But Giddey looks confident. The passes he's making has a lot of people turning their heads. It's very fun to watch him with.
Fucker. He keeps doing it.
He does.
Discord is annoying. Yes, he turns people's heads on a swivel. His passing ability is second to none. He was the best passer in the draft, as a lot of us said. One of us disputed, but most of us said
he's the second best passer in the draft. You're correct.
He's the best passer in the draft.
Reeves is the best passer of this draft class.
Wait, so Dave, wait. So he's the best passer in the draft class who actually starts for an NBA team?
Correct.
Oh, so he's the best passer in the draft. Got it.
No, okay, who starts for a team? That's what you said.
Yeah, so he's just the best passer in the draft. Because if what's his name was that good, he'd be starting. Because Trey Young, who?
Trey Young is a pretty good basketball player. I don't know if you noticed.
No, I haven't. Josh Giddey's also a good basketball
didn't you get an up close and personal view of how good Trey Young is? I feel like you saw that very close and
Trey Young didn't
very
play
personally.
Well. Trey Young didn't play well in Game 7. Actually, I saw an up close and personal how Ben Simmons can't.
He was hurt, but he still was good enough to get past your shit bag of a team. So
well, yeah, the reason was Ben Simmons. But going to number 5 on our board, my board.
Giddey until they found out Grizzlies were going to take him at 10. I do think that's a valid point because Giddey was seemingly a lottery pick or maybe a 10 to 20 range.
Until Giddey. Oh.
Yeah, I know. That's a tragedy, and we will miss it. But it seemingly like he kind of came out of nowhere until Memphis leaked who they were going up for. Yeah. And all of a sudden it was like, that seems like we're going to just get in front of that one.
Almost as big of a tragedy as no LaMelo on the Warriors, but almost.
Jesus.
Man,
that's a Luka Bagley situation.
People aren't going to like me putting him this low.
Say it. Piss off the North.
It's not the North.
Oh,
it's going to be Evan Mobley at 5.
No,
Evan Mobley at 5. Yes, I did. Wow. Evan Mobley's been great. Evan Mobley has been fantastic. I like Evan Mobley a lot, but I'm going to have him this low because I think the other 4 guys above him have just been that good, honestly. I think Evan Mobley's great. He's already shown the ability to hit the outside shot at somewhat of a consistent rate, which was what the big worry was about him. Defensively, he's a monster, as advertised. We knew exactly what he was going to be. And offensively, putting the ball on the ground, being a consistent jump shooter, everything's going. He's doing it quicker than most of us expected. He's basically picking it up running on the ground. So he's a great pick, and Evan Mobley's going to be a stud.
I think you're sleeping on the motherfucker.
I'm not sleeping. I said that this is so tight that he has to go there.
I get it. Yeah, he's the best player on their team. It's very fun to watch. I could only imagine what he will do as he continues to grow into his body, add mass, and have better teammates.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, I agree. Yeah, same thing with Josh Giddey. He's
hamstrung by his franchise.
Same thing by Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey probably should be averaging 8 or 9 assists a game, but his teammates can't make layups. So a little bit worrisome there. Moving on to number 4 on my board.
Yep.
It's going to be JG4. JG4 had a very good game last night, scoring 30 points on 6 of 8 shooting from 3. But besides that, he's kind of been a question mark so far this year. His scoring has been lack of consistent. I meant to word that so differently, but his scoring has been inconsistent.
Yes.
But when he's on, like last night, there's nothing a defense can do about it.
He's a flamethrower. It's awesome to watch him. The aggressiveness with the ball in his hands and the athleticism to be creative with it is an insane combo. And literally, like, the Zach LaVine comps are true. I mean, it's exactly what you would hope for as someone who is like, he looks like a stick boy out there, and yet this man will try to murder everything at the rim. And that is, I guarantee he's already thinking it. The ball hits his hands like, all right, who's standing near it? If I go this way.
He tried to murder somebody. Was it Baisley? He tried to murder somebody at the rim. I don't know who, and he just, it fell out of his hand and he missed it, but that was actually like attempted murder at the rim.
Yes. He is so much fun to watch. He's one of the best scorers. He's probably the best scorer in this draft class. In my mind at this point still. I think it's just a matter of time, and if he had a point guard, he'd be so much better. I love KPJ. You ain't that good yet. I still think you're kind of a wing.
He is a wing. He is a wing. And he
but they're giving him point guard opportunities, and it is hurting that man's stock.
Team would be so much better if John Wall was playing point guard and KPJ was coming off the bench.
Even if you went double wide and you went John Wall, JG4, KPJ, Christian Wood, and LP. That's a fucking perfect lineup. That would win games. But you still got KJ Martin, you got Tate, you got
Eric Gordon,
House, EG. You have guys, and yet you choose to just shoot yourself in the foot because you're like, don't want to hurt John Wall in case somebody wants to trade for him.
Which nobody does right now.
Nobody does.
We might later. Dave, who is your number 4 on the board?
I'm doing the same thing as you. I'm putting JG4 right here. Yeah, he's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Well, you can skip right into your number 3 then and go to who is your number 3 on your board for week 1.
Something funny though, I do want to say a lot of hate on Reddit over this one. Somebody made a post me like, Jalen Green just beat Kevin Durant's all-time record for threes in a game. I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Kevin Durant's never made 8 threes in a game, apparently. Therefore, you just equilaterally, JG4 is better than Kevin Durant. That's the point they were trying to make, I'm pretty sure.
He's definitely mentally stronger.
So. The fucking nephews out here, man. It's that time of year again.
We're back.
We are back. Number 3, I'm going Scotty Barnes.
Okay. You can write it for me too. You can write it for me too.
Really?
Yeah. You think I'm not going to do a little bit of homerism here? My guys have to be 1 and 2, Dave. So Scotty Barnes, I actually had him 4th on my board. I don't remember what you had him.
Lower, much lower.
Much lower. So Dave had him much lower. He did go 4 to the Raptors, obviously. Or 4 to the Raptors. Yeah, Suggs went 5. I was trying. I can't. Literally, I keep forgetting Mobley went 3rd to the Cavs, and I'm like, didn't Scotty Barnes go 3rd? No, he went 4th to the Raptors. Not really unexpected in the draft. Somewhat because somebody thought they were going Suggs.
Yeah, everyone thought, okay, the common consensus up until draft day was Suggs. And then on draft day, when all this change happens, there was a leak, I think the day before or 2 days before.
Yeah, day before. I was the one, because it was Jake Fisher.
You were the person in our MVP who brought it in.
It was Jake Fisher who was in a Twitter space, and he was like, I think if they stay at 4, they're going to take Scotty Barnes. And he's been everything is advertised so far. I talked about it in the pre-draft a lot, is that the amount of passion that he plays the game with is going to reflect in the box score eventually. And apparently it's just done it right away. I didn't think it would be this fast, but he's just been a stud in rebounding and passing and transition on defense. Like everything he can do well, he's going to do well. And I'm very interested to see him. I think they're starting now, is playing against the Bulls tonight. It's going to be a very interesting matchup for him because they don't really have somebody like they have Patrick Williams, but that's not kind of the.
But he's probably. We'll see. We'll see how they're gonna play. I would guess Patrick Williams will be on OG.
Yeah,
I'm guessing. I don't know.
That would mean that Vus would be on Achua, which means he gets DeRozan on.
Yeah,
which
it might be DeMar. It might be Patrick Williams. We'll have to see how they play it up. P. Will might just be on ball handler. He might be an active ball handler as him.
But Scotty Barnes is he's nearly unguardable the times his jump shot's landing. Like when his jump shot's landing. He's unguardable. No, truly. If his jump shot's landing at a consistent rate, how are you going to guard him when he has the passing ability that he does for his size?
I think he's a above average passer. I think I saw this great post on Reddit that kind of defined it out really well for me, and I'm going to butcher the hell out of it. He's not an above average athlete by NBA standards, but he's above average with his ability to move his body. Like, he's so fluid, and the way he controls his body with the ball in his hands, that's what makes him special. It's how quick he can make a decision, get his body in the right position to contort, get around people. The first step, like, he does so much right that it doesn't even matter that he's not like a JG4 athlete. He has something else that makes him special, and I think that he knows how to unlock that already, which is what is so much fun to watch during these early games. Obviously, that Celtics game, what do we...
Kerry Trent Jr. is just flame throwing. He has 7 of their first 9. I was just looking to see if Scottie Barnes was scoring or not, but yeah.
Barnes, you surprised by the low assist numbers to start the season?
A little bit, but I also think that comes down to the system. Is he's not really like Van Fleet sees the ball a ton in the system. And OG gets the ball a ton. So I'm not too surprised by it. I think as the year goes on, their pace of play will probably speed up, and that's when you'll see Barnes get more assists because when he gets the rebound, he just goes.
Yep.
And you'll probably see more and more of that as he grows into it throughout the year.
He's super fun. I mean, he's so likable. Like he's an awesome kid, and he's a Florida State guy. Florida State wings.
They work. They
just work.
They might be stupid like Jonathan Isaac, but they work.
Yeah.
Number 2 on my board. Yep. Will be Josh Giddey. Of course, it's gonna be Josh Giddey.
Wow, you're not putting Giddey 1. Who are you?
Wait, it's my 2 guys. What do you mean?
Who are you? Josh Giddey number 1.
Josh Giddey number 2 because he's had 1 very good game and 2 okay games. Yeah, he's just. I mean, we talked about him already. His passing ability is insane. He's advanced for. He was best passer in the draft. He's advanced for his age. Him and SGA, if they had more teammates that could actually make shots, he'd be averaging 8 or 9 assists a game.
Disagree, but you know.
Who's number 2 on your board? Since we already talked Giddey.
Yeah, it's Chris Duarte.
He's not. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he is good.
He's very good.
He's playing 40 minutes a night.
Correct.
Which inflates his numbers just a smidge.
Correct. But he also played that overtime game, so that inflates his numbers a little bit.
Again, I understand. He is exactly what we thought he would be. He's also 25. About to be 25.
But he's 24.
He's 24 at the moment. He will be 25 though. Look,
that's why he's a stud.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. He's a good basketball player. He's in his prime though. That is why I was like, hey, look, numbers mean some things, but it's the whole picture for me, and that is why he is number 2 because he is extremely good. He's played above expectations, I think, for a lot of people. Could you imagine the devastation if the fucking Warriors had him? Jesus Christ! Thank you, Indiana. Thank you, Indiana.
Yeah, I swear they would have traded up for him if they were taking for themselves because tinfoil. I'm sticking to it. They would have traded up for Duarte and they would have taken Moses Moody and the cum bucket because it just doesn't make any sense. So, number 1 on your board, Dave. I know who. We know it's going to be. It's going to be Mobley.
It's Mobley.
Mobley.
Look, I watched him. I've watched all his games over now. He's just better than I expected in the context of the team that he's on. Like, I you have to take the numbers with a grain of salt because think about if he wasn't playing next to 2 centers. Like, if he didn't have a center to his left and a center to his right, how good would this kid be? He contests fucking everything. He can switch on everything. He's just so smart, active hands, and he uses his lower body. Like, his lower body moves really well for a 7-footer. Like, I don't even know like if there's a good comparison at a young age to say like how good he moves for someone with his size. But he is special, and I think that
he's AD.
He is potentially much better than AD. I think.
Yeah, I'm saying right now, like his base is like AD. We thought originally he'd have trouble with the physicality, which is why he would play the 4. I haven't seen any of that so far. I've just seen him kind of like
he's played kind of weak 5s, to be fair.
Fair, but
Vucevic.
Fair, but he has no fear in the entire thing, and that's a big thing in a young guy who's kind of not undersized but underbuilt almost in terms of his build for his position.
To be fair though, like I don't know. I'm extremely high on him. I'm trying to remember because he did go. No, they used Allen mostly because I was gonna say like they did play Steven Adams, but like he wasn't bodying Adams. That he was not. So it doesn't even.
Nobody
matter.
Really does, to be honest. So
no one can.
No one really backs.
It's a shocking surprise.
Yeah. Number 1 on my board is gonna be Chris Duarte.
Go ahead, rant.
My 2
Talk
guys.
About Chris some more.
Chris Duarte is just a stud. I compared him to Danny Green in the draft, and guess what? He's just better than that. Offensively, he literally has no fear. That pull-up three in the fourth quarter against I think it was the Heat. I forget who. Just literally, he has BDE if we want to use that term in terms of basketball. Like
Well
he
done.
is the complete opposite of a mental midget. He does not care. He does not limit himself to being a role player. Like he could be a closer in the next couple of years if he could actually learn shot creation to a higher standard consistently. Like he just has no fear. He's able to make tough shots at a consistent rate, and his passing ability, which was not talked about in the draft, on twitter.com/Jake Neverman, when I talked about it in my Chris Duarte Twitter thread, I talked about his passing ability and his ability to draw double and triple teams and find open teammates. Like and yes, he is 24, so he should be doing this right away. But guess what? He is, and he's doing exactly what everybody wanted him to do straight out of the draft in order to impress. And my boys, Chris Duarte, Josh Giddey, Scotty Barnes, JG4. I might have just nailed the draft, Dave.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm glad that nailing the draft comes with the first 3 games of the NBA season.
Well, I get the
let's just not talk about it after then.
The Bulls being championship contenders also comes with the first 3 games. So
point being, looking in just quickly, I've been impressed. Herb Jones, someone we didn't expect to get minutes this early in the season. He hasn't played amazingly well, but it's just like got minutes. Didn't look terrible out there. I think he held his own, to be fair. Austin Reeves, as Ricky likes to say, hillbilly Kobe. Played really well at the second unit for the Lakers. I don't know that he'll ever have the opportunity to step up because I think as Nunn comes back, he probably loses minutes, but he's looked pretty fun so far.
Guy that's I'm disappointed is Trey Murphy's just not getting playing time that he deserves.
That one doesn't make sense to me because you would think Herb Jones and him would be flip-flopped.
Yeah, I agree. And Zaire has been meh so far in Memphis, kind of what we expected.
Yeah.
Just kind of meh.
He's a long-term project.
Yeah, but I'm surprised he's not going to the G League and they're playing him right away. So it's just interesting.
They've got room until they get Jill and Brooks back.
Maybe he'll go down after that then.
Yeah, that's my guess. Last call shout out. Io
played very well in one game. We'll see if it translates to multiple games.
Io and Mamu. Mamu both has looked fantastic and also like the worst player. Any shout outs for your rookie top 7s? Weekly segment we'll do, and we can roast you for your takes.
Yeah, because that's what we do best. That'll do it for today's show. But again, check out patreon.com and our channel memberships down below for content a week earlier. Then they will be up on YouTube. Check out our Discord also down below. No, he's back. That was a while ago.
I just
check out our Discord down below. Again, join the greatest community in the world. And yeah, Ricky and I believe, will be live tomorrow for the NFL Weekly Show. And Dave and I will be will most likely be live next week, sometime towards the end of this week. Maybe a random one thrown in there if something happens. You just don't know. So again, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell down below if you want to get notified every time we do go live or post a video. And for Dave and I, and for MVP, I hope everybody has a great day.